This is just a little short demonstration video of some online meditation training. So I'm just going to offer a brief practice. I have trained in meditation through various different traditions. My name is Faye Ashton Wright. My yoga coaching and training practice is the Yoga Coach. I also offer consultancy and training and mentoring in emerging technology. I'm particularly looking at artificial intelligence and ideas and theories around that. Also informed by my training and study and practice of yoga and indeed meditation. So you can find out more about me on my websites and some bio information there. So this training, this particular practice that we're going to do is suitable for beginners. It's not suitable for you today if you are experiencing very, very severe or significant stress or anxiety, possibly not depression. So any really kind of profound, deep suffering. I would say also bereavement, any significant current experience if you're moving through any situation of trauma or abuse. They always need some level of modification or adaptation in approach. It needs to be very sensitively adapted for any of those kind of experiences, which are very common and normal and regular. So it's not to dismiss or marginalize those, but just I would recommend that you seek personalized individual training guidance as opposed to practicing anything kind of more generic or openly sort of shared. So if that's not your experience and you're not currently moving through any more profound suffering, then this should be okay for you. So in meditation, we initially orient ourselves into an alert, upright, seated position. Traditionally, in Eastern practices, that would typically be seated on the floor. So yoga is quite beneficial as a practice to sort of support and assist that. But for many Westerners, it's easier to start sitting upright on a chair, at a desk or a table. So I would encourage you to place both feet consciously, ideally hip width apart, with your ankles directly below your knees, just so that your feet and the weight of the legs and knees are well supported. You can sit with supported if you're in a chair rather than on a stool, then supported by the chair back, but try and take care that your spine is upright. So if you're sitting on a sofa, it might be that you're slightly more slouched. And for any meditation or breath work in yoga, it's recognized that we need to have the spine vertically supported to allow the flow of energy down through the nerve pathways. So it's helpful to tuck the elbows in towards the sides of the bodies, then just let the hands relax. They can sit loosely in the lap. Classically, we would sit with one hand supporting the other, like so, generally the dominant hand beneath. So the hand that you write with would be supporting the hand that you don't write with. So like so, or you can have hands placed with palms facing downwards just into the upper thighs. As I say, do check your spine is straight. That includes also the cervical spine. So we draw the chin slightly backwards so that it's sitting over the collarbones. It can be that we sit slightly more forwards when we're looking towards a screen or an object just in front of us. So chin slightly backwards, shoulders nice and broad. The ears will then line up with the shoulders as well. Although this is a short practice, it's worthwhile just setting up that as your sitting meditation posture, because as you come to develop and extend practice longer periods of sitting, then it helps prevent any fatigue. And as I say, it's also to permit the flow of energetic information through the nerve pathways. So having guided ourselves to that posture, we'll do a fairly sort of simple and accessible, where I generally start with beginners, new meditation students, of sort of grounding and awareness oriented meditation. So you can either close your eyes or keep your eyes open if you wish. If you're likely to be more distracted by visual information, by watching as well as listening, then it can be an idea to close the eyes. You can sort of close the eyes, just sort of look down, so not fully close them, just so that you still have a bit of light coming in. Again, that can help prevent falling asleep if you happen to be tired. You can quite easily drop off during meditation practice. That's quite natural because it does activate um, the parasympathetic nervous system to to calm us and to relax us. So it is quite normal that you may feel more sleepy if you're already tired. So possibly keeping the eyes slightly open can help to maintain a level of alertness. If you're feeling well alert and awake, then you may wish to just close your eyes completely. And then I would invite you to begin the practice by simply becoming aware of the sensation of your feet in contact with the ground. So through any footwear, socks, shoes, if you happen to be wearing any, so particularly if you're in a work setting. So try and locate that sensation of the ground beneath your feet, however that surface may be. So if you're in an indoor environment, it may be hard or soft. If there's any carpeting or a rug, it may be softer, it may be firmer. If you do happen to be outdoors, it may be possibly a little uneven if it's a natural environment. So however that is for you, as I say, beneath any footwear, socks, clothes, and just be aware of the firmness of that ground surface. So literally the surface of the earth, may maybe a floor inside a building, but in some way that's our contact with earth. And that direct sensation through your soles of your feet of that contact with the ground. If you do happen to be sitting on the floor, and particularly if you're sitting cross-legged, that may be more through the sides of the feet, the ankles. So whichever part of the foot is in contact with the ground, your 2 feet. Just really tuning in to that sensation. So we locate it in our awareness, the space of mind. And then we effectively zoom in, focus on that sensation. And it's quite natural. Mind likes to travel and wander. So it's quite normal. The thoughts, feelings, sensations may come into the mind. So we simply remind ourselves the invitation, the intention is to focus specifically on this sensation of any contact between your feet and the ground, the floor, ground surface upon which you are sitting. So aware of that sensation, feet, connection with the ground, firmness, the solidity, that surface of the floor beneath your feet, focusing on that contact, on that connection, on that sensation. Feeling into that physical sensation, that connection between your feet and the ground. And now we let go that practice. So we let go that idea, that intention. We allow that focus to, to dissipate. So that sensation can sort of fade again into the background of our awareness. So in yoga, there are 8 limbs of yoga. So 8 different aspects or dimensions or realms of the practice. And 3 of those are concerned with mind, body. So mind in the broadest sense of our neurophysiology. And meditation is the primary means to practice, to train, and to sort of work with that field. So those 3 limbs are dharana, which is awareness, which nowadays, particularly in secular practice and psychotherapy, has become known as mindfulness. So from Thich Nhat Hanh, kind of broadly shared and advocated for this training in awareness or mindfulness. The second stage is dhyana, which is focus or concentration. And then the third stage is, of third of those 3 limbs is samadhi, which is effectively like absorption or mental absorption. So that's also more widely understood as the flow state. So in psychology and psychotherapy, that's being discussed and described where you fully kind of immersed in that experience, in that perception, in that that state of focus and concentration. So to the exclusion of other sort of thoughts or experiences or whatever. So it's helpful in meditation training, particularly as a beginner, to sort of consider those different stages or levels of awareness. So we're simply aware of an idea or a thought or a sensation. We locate it in our mind. We access it. We're aware of it, and we hold it in our awareness. We focus, so we try and maintain our focus and concentration. That's the dhyana. And then the absorption, the samadhi, is the more immersive flow experience of that sort of connection, that interaction, that holding in mind. So I call that particular practice finding your feet, and it helps just to develop the awareness. We do use it extensively as well in yoga, of just awareness of our physical movements as we practice asana, so postural and physical movements, dynamic or static posture practice. But that's kind of quite a nice way to practice it as a more discrete and targeted form of meditation and as a seated meditation practice. And I'll share some of there's other options in terms of not just feet. So I'll leave it there for today and possibly record and share in a further practice. I am offering online meditation training currently Monday lunchtimes. The feedback I've had so far is that that's possibly not the best time of the week for many people. But what I'll possibly do is think about just recording a short training video like this for people to access when it's convenient, and maybe change the timing of the live online class. That'd be a group class. So thank you for watching and listening. And if you did join in the practice, I hope you enjoyed. If you would prefer to access meditation or general yoga training that's more adapted and customized for you, then I do also offer personalized one-to-one training online and in person. And if you're interested in how some of the ideas and philosophies of yoga and insights and trainings and practices might be relevant to emerging tech, then my consultancy website is a good place to start for that. So thank you all very much. Namaste.